Good morning, everyone. It's me, Lynn here. I'm filming from inside my apartment, so I'm just going to give you guys a quick warning. I know the light in here is very mixed. I have a big sliding door, so there's lots of natural light coming from this way, but then behind us we have my lovely lamps that probably look like giant blurs to you guys. And of course, the crappy apartment lighting from living in a very old building. It all comes together to just kind of create this massive mess. So unfortunately, my my normal videos look so much better usually because I'm in a really bright space with like awesome natural lighting all around. But instead, you guys get this today. So thanks for watching and putting up with this. I am not a professional. I am doing what I can here. Anyways, thank you guys for coming back to watch another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about Star Guardian Ahri, my costume coming up, and giving you guys a little bit of a preview of some special effects that I have added into the costume. As a side note, this is my cat Milo. He's going to come. For some reason, whenever I work on a cosplay costume, he likes to sit on it, don't you? So when I have to hand sew 6 feet, he comes and rolls on the skirt as I'm trying to hand sew it, and usually will try to bite the thread out of my hand. For all you guys out there that own cats, I am so sorry. He is literally trying to bite the phone holder right now. Okay. Sorry if that scared you guys. Like, as I'm talking about him, he is being naughty in the background. The story of my life. So for all you guys out there that are cat owners, I am so sorry. It makes making costumes just that much harder. Okay, so in my previous video, I talked about how I bought Star Guardian Ahri from MIC Costumes. I'm just going to call it that because I've tried to pronounce it like 3 different ways. None of the ways sound correct to me. I give up. Buying from the website, I had a really awesome experience. The fact that I barely had to do anything to the costume, it just came looking incredible. The fit was perfect. Even the thigh-high stockings were like perfect length. I was very, very impressed. I'll just say that. But I had this idea in my head of something I wanted to add into the skirt portion of it for a long time. And finally, I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a go. I feel like most of my cosplay making experience has been this mindset of, well, let's just try it out, and if I mess up, I'll just tear it back out. So I got this really, really amazing idea that I'm going to show you guys today, a little sneak preview of what it looks like. And then I'll talk a little bit about how I did it in case you guys are interested in doing kind of the same thing in your own costumes. So again, the lighting in here is very poor, but I will try my best to show you guys this. Okay, so when I have cosplay costumes that are skirts or bottoms or have multiple pieces that go into the skirt, I'll take a pants hanger like this, and I know this is like super last minute grab so you can see it's all messed up, but I'll put everything together. So this top piece is actually 2 different, this piece is one thing, and then the sparkle skirt is a different thing, but the white piece actually ties together so you can kind of adjust it to your waist size, which I really, really appreciate because for us ladies out there who have bigger hips and smaller waists, this is what saves my life, that it's not like pre-measured out. I can like adjust it to my waist. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak preview of what I've done with the skirt, and you can see if you like it or not. I spent a really good amount of time on this weekend, so I'm very impressed I actually got it done in one weekend. I'm usually quite lazy and I will take forever to do things. So let's see if I can get it to go. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to talk, and I am so sorry, you guys. Okay, let's turn this around. This lighting in here, man, it does not like this lighting. So you guys can see it a little bit better. Okay, so what I have done here is added LED strips into the lace portion of the skirt underneath. And actually, you know what? A better way to show you guys this is I'm gonna actually turn the light off here so you can get kind of a darker view. Okay, now it's dark and spooky in here. We're gonna do test number 2. Oh, you can actually kind of see it now. Okay. These LED strips, super, super easy. You can buy them pre-programmed on Amazon for like $20. So this strip here, I've actually added it into the lace under the skirt to diffuse the light down there so it looks a little bit more softer. And also when it comes from underneath, I think it looks a little bit more transformation-like. So while I'm talking about this, let me show you guys the remote that came with it. It has different settings on here, so it can actually change to be any color we want it to be. So I can switch it, switching it colors right now. The other thing is you can choose motions for it to do. It also has like this mode, which is just, it's called fade. So it will slowly and softly like fade into the next colors. There's one that's slightly faster. There's one that's slightly slower. So the reason why I got this specific set of strips is because it comes with a music mode. So if you have music playing, this mode will actually jump to the music and dance. There's 4 different modes on this little remote control. My favorite mode is number 1, but I think number 2, number 3, and number 4 in here I've noticed are a little bit like, number 4 is really flashy and it can be overwhelming. La 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 la. So like number 4 is way more music activated. It really needs to hear noise in order to be moving, but number 1 is more like it does its own thing, but it also is music activated. I don't really know how to explain this very well. So anyways, the cool thing about this is, okay, we're gonna turn this off, and then I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more details with, you know, actually the light on so you can see it. Okay, you guys, we're back. It is light. You can see me again. Okay, let me talk a little bit about this skirt. So when I mentioned in the start of this video that my cat made it very hard to do this, the reason why is because the LED is sewn, okay, so it's red. You can actually see it here. I actually had to hand sew all of this, and I think it's 6 feet. So when I bought the LED strips, I thought I was actually getting one single strip that was 13 feet. And the nice thing about LED lights is you can actually cut them. So you can cut it where you want it to end. But instead, I was sent 2 6-foot strips. So I kind of had to work with what I had. The LEDs actually do not go all the way around this underskirt because it is so puffy. It's very, very long. But I made it work. So I had to hand sew it though. And the reason for this is originally I was going to try to I was going to try to glue or use adhesive to attach the LED portion to this lace. So I thought, okay, I think what I'm gonna do is take little dabs of hot glue and I'm just going to kind of baste the LEDs onto here just to make sure it looks good. And I got probably a good, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 10 inches in before I realized the top, so this red portion is where you normally would stick an LED because it's made to be stuck on a wall or around a TV or a desk or wherever in a closet. But because I'm sticking the front of the LED that you can't even see through this lace is completely smooth plastic. And so there is nothing for that hot glue to really adhere to unless you're creating like a little hook around it to trap it in. So as I was hot gluing, I didn't even notice that the inches that I had already pulled and glued were just becoming unglued as I went. So I thought, okay, yeah, it's gonna be harder than I thought. I'm gonna go back and I'm going to just hand stitch it. And when you hand stitch like this, the nice thing is I was able to kind of line it up with where the lace ends. So you can't actually see it at all. So when it's held up, you can see it from the other side, if that makes sense. But when you're wearing the skirt, you're not gonna see that side. You're only gonna see the front side with the lace. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the battery pack, because when you're using LED lights, the most important part is making sure that the battery pack is kind of out of the way, invisible, but still easily accessed, because if the batteries run out at the convention or there's a wiring issue, you need to be able to get to it. The other thing about having a battery pack is that you want it to be secure enough that you can dance and play around in this outfit without having to worry about it suddenly flying out or swinging somewhere. But at the same time, it also needs to be easy for you to get to it. And it's funny because now as I'm looking at it, it looks like I need to sew it a little bit more because it's looking quite loose right now. So this is good. This is why you play with your cosplay outfits before you go to the convention, because then you find out what swings out. I would not recommend using this style of fabric, but what I've done is actually sewn a pouch into the actual like waistband of the skirt, and the pouch has an opening right here, and that's where the battery pack sits. As you can see, the fabric is loose right here, so I have found a little weak spot that I can strengthen before I go. Now the way it works is I made a little hole down here, the wire comes out, and then I just started sewing right here. And what I did is I actually tried to follow the seam line that's already in the skirt here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Again, I'm not professional, I don't know what I'm doing. But I tried to follow the seam line, so if anything gets like messed up or falls out or gets kind of like loose, I know where it was supposed to be, like there's a guideline there. And the nice thing about this is when you need to replace the batteries, you can just, you know, slide this up and out, take the top off, take the batteries out. And the way I also made it specifically is that I made the pouch slightly bigger than the battery pack. So when I'm at the convention, I can slide the remote control in there too. So as you're walking around, you're dancing, whatever you're doing, you have this nice little pouch that the battery pack is hidden in with the remote. And when you decide that you want to change whatever setting, or you're going into a dark event, you want to turn the lights off, you can just reach in, grab this out, turn them off, and then you're all good to go. The one thing to note about this LED light set though, and this is very important, is that there is an on and off switch that's actually, let me see, where is it? On the battery pack, I'm going to take it out. There's a little on and off switch. You have to have this turned on at all times when you may be turning it on and off. If you turn it off, the remote control no longer works. So you just have to make sure like, okay, you're getting ready for the day, time to switch the battery pack on. It doesn't actually use any power until you are using the remote control to turn it on. But just another thing that you have to remember. I got the idea to do the pouch, the battery pack this way, and this is actually under the lace portion. So if you look, okay, battery pack is in there, flips down, and you can't even see it in the skirt. Isn't that amazing? I know, so beautiful. Okay, my nose is itchy. My nose is running as usual because it's cold here. Okay, so I'm really, really excited to try out this costume. And I want to talk a little bit about the significance of doing a magical girl outfit and why this is very symbolic for me. And I kind of mentioned it in a past video, and I told you guys I was going to touch base on it. So I do want to do a quick story time where I just tell you guys a little bit more about doing this costume. So you guys may have seen my other videos where I talk about how I had a very significant weight loss in the past 2 years. I was going through a really, really rough patch in my life with friends, family, kind of finding myself, what I wanted in life. And at the time I had a really unhappy job, and my cat, he just wants to destroy everything. So anyways, it was not a great time in my life, and I was really not happy with where I was at physically either. And to be in a point in your life when you feel very poor about yourself and you really are not happy with where you're at in life either, usually you can kind of find balance. If you have a good set of friends and you're happy at your job, you're happy in school, whatever you're doing, your physical appearance counts less because you are happier in your environment. But if your environment is also very poor and you feel very poor in your own skin, it is a horrible feeling. And I'm really sorry for anyone that's ever had to go through it, because after being, to that journey and back, it was a difficult one. I would never wish it on anyone. So one of the things that I noticed when I lost weight is I started to look back in pictures of my cosplay costumes that I was doing when I was at my larger size, and realized that there were so many costumes I wanted to do and I wouldn't let myself do them. I felt so poor about my body that I just didn't want any extra attention, if that makes sense. I know it's like a cosplayer who doesn't want attention, you're already doing a costume, you're getting attention. But for me, doing something like Chi from Chobits or a magical girl or something that's really bright and fluffy and feminine was kind of presenting myself to the world in a way that I didn't want to present myself because I didn't feel that way about myself. And even though cosplay is a really good way to like fake it till you make it, a lot of people get this really awesome sense of self-confidence when you do cosplay because you're in this very strange world of all these people in costumes, and people are so like silly and funny and kind of like acting out their characters, and you kind of lose yourself in that moment. But for me, I didn't want to do the characters I loved because I didn't really love myself at that point. Man, that's really hard to say, but it's kind of the truth. So when I lost weight and I went to SoccerCon for the first time in 2 years, and this was last year, and I did KDA Ahri, that was a huge, huge leap of faith for me. Mostly because it's a costume where you literally can't hide anything. You can't hide the cellulite on your thighs or, the curves that maybe you don't exactly want, or your tummy. Like, it's really hard to hide things in a spandex bodysuit. And wearing thigh-high stockings, which was something I always avoided, it was just like my worst fears all coming together. But I wore it and I felt good in it. And that was a huge leap for me. And it was a major moment where I started to realize there's so many characters and costumes out there that I could do, and I need to stop holding myself back. Like, if I see something and it's pretty and I like it, why am I not wearing it? Why am I not putting myself in the mindset of, you're gonna look great, you're gonna feel great, stop worrying about everything. So when I decided to do Star Guardian Ahri, this was a big deal because it's kind of a way for me to say, I'm ready to show the world who I want to be, who I feel like on the inside, and also to do costumes that bring more attention to myself without worrying about what everyone around me thought. Because that's kind of like the cosplayer's conundrum, where it's like, you want to bring attention to yourself, but if you bring attention to yourself, people will be mean to you, and people might say things you don't like, and you never really... That's my cat chewing on the phone cord. I am so sorry. This is what I mean. Evil ginger cat. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, it's a weird issue that people who do cosplay go through, where you want to get attention for your work, for your cosplay costumes. You want to have a costume that people want to look at, that looks physically nice and is shiny and bright and has LED lights. But at the same time, with that comes a responsibility where you have to feel good enough about yourself that if people make mean comments, or if people comment on your body size or whatever, that you can brush that off, and you can be like, I don't care, whatever. I worked way too hard on this. I sewed for 4 hours straight. I hand sewed for 4 hours straight this weekend. No one is getting in my way and going to bully me and make me feel bad after that much effort and work that I've put into this costume. So this is kind of the mindset I have made myself get in. The other part of this is opening up and being really, really comfortable in order to share my cosplay world with my spouse. Because if one of us is into one thing, the other one is into the opposite. And let me just point out the little shrine back there, if you guys can't see it, dedicated to League of Legends, which is my spouse's. So I want to just tell you that being able to be confident and sharing what you love with someone is also a huge boost in confidence. And last year was actually my spouse's first year going to a convention, and this year will be his first year cosplaying with me. So I'm really excited about that. And I would have never had the confidence before to do that until I kind of got a hold of my life and took better care of myself and really made it my goal, not just to look physically different, but to feel different. That was the biggest part of this. If anything, I want you guys to take away that, getting physically healthy and stronger is an incredible feeling, and a lot of times it gives you like a self-confidence that you won't find anywhere else. But at the same time, you have to work on your mental health, you have to work on your happiness, and you have to kind of promote what you love. So if you love going to conventions and doing cosplay or whatever, make sure that you share that with the people around you, or find a community that you can share with them. You need a tribe kind of surrounding you that is interested in these same things. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned a little bit more about me and I seem more like a human to you. And I hope to see you guys at SakuraCon, where I'll be wearing this with the giant tails. And I'm excited to see all the other cosplayers. So anyways, bye guys, have a good day, and I'll see you soon.